My name is Evgeny Borisov, and we're going to speak about Spring Debugger, new power. Usually, I don't have enough time. I have a lot of things today for you. I think you came here to enjoy, not to hear the boring talks. So it will be a show. It will be puzzlers. If you will solve correctly, I have prizes for you. I will give them for you. Hi, Pavel. Glad to see you. We have a lot of information about frameworks, the Spring we're going to talk. We will talk about the new debugger features. The only thing I don't have usually, the time. I don't have the time, so I decided this time to start from the end because these slides never comes. So let's start from the conclusions of my talk you already heard. Imagine you already heard my talk. Okay, we talk about Spring, we talk about debugger, and now what we understand. So this is the main important question in my opinion. What does it mean to be a developer in 2026 in the era of AI? When we almost don't write a code, we barely read it. And what is our main job? Our main job is not to read the code, right? It's to understand the code deeply and solve the problems when AI cannot solve it. So it requires a lot of expertise. And juniors is not enough. So in my opinion, what will be the next in the future, we need to be very, very, very deep experts in our projects, in our frameworks we use. Only then we will be able to compete with AI and to help it work better. Okay? So how do we get there? In order to debug the code, to understand our projects, you already saw in my talk a perfect tool, IntelliJ IDEA Debugger. And we need to learn, we need to follow the resources, the community. And if you enjoyed my talk and want more, stay in touch. This is my LinkedIn. I opened today the Telegram channel. I have the same for Russian speakers. It's about 4,000 followers, so I decided to do it in English as well. Please welcome. Okay, now let's start from the beginning. Let's see if I have enough time to finish all my 80-something slides. So who am I? I'm working with Java since 2001. I'm working with Spring about 20 years. I'm speaking in a lot of conferences. I work in different companies. In the last years, I was part of AI adoption in EPAM systems, and I worked for some time with JetBrains to make the debugger better. By the way, I understand why we need DevRel in JetBrains. Every time when we try to prepare some talk, we improve our features. So you don't understand how much we improved our debugger during I prepared this talk. And I hope I have enough time to show all the features we now have. Okay, so as I said, hello. As I said, this is a very important thing to understand the frameworks we're going to talk. Please raise your hands. Who is using Spring today? Actually, it would be strange if you not use Spring and you came to hear about Spring Debugger, right? So I see you currently now as Spring users. And after my talk, I hope you will be Spring experts, at least in particular topics. So let's see how you're good in Spring. This is a very simple question. And I have prices for this as well. So we have a lot of different property sources where the properties can come to environment the Spring builds in the beginning, right? I can show you some project. Okay, so I have several different packages, and each time my main Java application just scans. So now we will scan package Puzzler1. So only the code which is there, and you can see in Puzzler1 we have only one class, which is config. Okay, because the question is very simple. I just want to ask you what will be injected in the mission of Skynet config. Why Skynet, guys? When I was young, I was born in the era when the Terminator film was very, very known, and we waited for the big war. But since the big war didn't happen even in 2004, I think it was in Terminator 3 they told about the date. It didn't happen. The people forgot about it. And now it became again relevant since we have the AI, I again hear the same talks, oh, Skynet is going to take all the humanity from us, and so on and so on. Okay, so I'm trying to inject some Terminator main mission property, and according to this property, later on, my Terminator robots will be configured. So I have different options. I have command line argument, which is injected here, Terminator main mission, save and release all hostages. I say I have the same property in my environment variable. I have the same property in, you see, I have a lot of different application properties, and here is open the Pandora box. This is the main purpose. And I have application dev properties, save the developers, application pro properties, save the planet. So I have a lot of different stuff here. And you know that Spring can inject from much more, but let's concentrate on the main popular. So here is my question, and now you need to vote. So the answer number A. A. So save and release all hostages, it will come from the command line argument. Maybe this one will override the others. Or the application properties, or maybe application properties, or just environment variable will win, which is save the bills.
Do you define a profile when you run the application?
The only profile which is defined, and this is the true, you see, we have application profile active prod, so we have at least two property files, application properties and application prod properties, environment variable, and command line argument.
What is in our environment variable?
I thought I turned it off. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's inside the web. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's written from command line, from application prod, application. So let's vote. Who think that the A is correct and command line argument is the most important one? 4 people, okay. Who think that application prod properties, which is active profile? Nobody. C from application properties. And environment variables. Okay. So the correct answer is A. Who can explain what will be the order? I will give some price.
There is defined precedence, I just don't remember it. Like in documentation.
Oh, this is my prices. Okay, so actually you answered correctly. This is for you. And actually it's just common knowledge. This is how Spring works. But my debugger says, let's launch and test it. And I'm going to my IntelliJ. And I'm running my JavaOne demo application. And let's see. Terminator main mission, Sarah Connor. How did it happen? Terminator always has the same target. It's always Sarah Connor, to save Sarah Connor, to kill Sarah Connor, but how do they ignore the command line argument, environment variables? How did it happen? So in order to understand, and this is, I believe it happened a lot to all of us, when you think, okay, I have some property here, or I have some bin here, but I don't understand where the value came from. Where should I click in order to understand where it came from? Okay, so what button should I click? Let's try to click the debug button. Let's see what will happen. So now I'm running the same one, but in the debug mode. And first of all, let me show you that you can save your time and don't try to think where I tricked you, because you can see application properties is enabled, and we can see application prod properties is enabled. But if we will look on that, we can see that the real value is Sarah Connor. And more than that, if you will click on that, it will take you to the place where this value was overridden, where it override the previous value. And you understand it's not so simple to, not just to navigate you to some property source, but to navigate you to some piece of code which somehow, and let's try to understand what is this code and where it is located and what is that. So we can see it's some kind of implementation of environment post-processor. And if you'll try to see, you know how to show usages in IntelliJ? Now we have ... and we can type anything we want if you don't remember the shortcuts. So we can show usages. And we can see that our Terminator acronym environment post-processor was declared in some Spring Factories file. And now, please raise your hand. Who knows what is this mechanism? Who familiar with environment post-processor? OK, so let me spend 1 minute, because I promised you that I'm not going to talk only about the debug. We're going to be an expert of Spring. So we're starting from the Spring timeline from the first step. The first step, why we need Spring? We need Spring because we want him to manage our objects. But before he manages our object, you need to be all context and to fill it with that object with all the singletons. But even before that, he needs to build an object which is called environment. And the one who is responsible for environment is environment post-processors. So there is system environment post-processors which are already written by Spring. And they know to take from around 17 or even 19 different property sources like command line and environment variables. And you can write your own custom properties, so you can add additional starters like for Spring Cloud, or if you want to take some properties from database, you can write your own environment post-processor. In case we have several, we can implement ordered interface, so we can configure the order. And that's how it happened. So in my case, if you look why it's Sarah Connor, because it should be save and release all hostages. But if we look on this post-processor, we'll see that he takes the current property name he has an access because he works after the standard environment post-processor already filled the environment. So we take in this property and we try to build an acronym from that. You know, acronym to take the first letters. And the first letters of save and release all hostages is Sarah. And each time Terminator sees Sarah, he thinks, oh, which Sarah can be Sarah Connor? OK, and that's actually is what's written in the code. So if I'll comment this out, if I'll comment the declaration and I'll rerun it again, you will see that the correct answer by Andrei, so you don't need to give me back your prize. I respect that you know this order. By the way, we can click here and we can see Terminator. You see, you have an after completion for all your properties, and you can access them after the context was refreshed from everywhere in IntelliJ. You don't need to inject environment object in order to find something. In case you want to check, you just type it, and you can see save and release all hostages. This is the value, OK? Because I commented out the environment post-processor, which did this acronym. OK. So this is the first riddle, and this is our first step in our timeline of building Spring application. First of all, we have environment post-processors. Most of the time, you don't need to write your own because we have all standard sources. But in case you want, you easily can do it, and you easily can register it via Spring Factories file, like you saw in my application. OK, the next puzzler. Let's see what do we have here. We have two bins declared in different ways. We have AI Terminator validator, which is prototype, and it declared by @component annotation. And we have another one, the same declaration of the same bin from the same class, but it's in some Java config. Here is @bin we use, OK? And now, what will happen if Skynet will try to wire Terminator validator? What do we want to do? We want in our constructor just to print the name of the class of injected Terminator validator. I want to understand what will happen here. Who think it's A? Who think it's B? This one is easy. No, guys, you are sleeping. It's null pointer exception. It's not the real puzzler, right? It's not the real puzzler. I just want to check that you still have an attention. We cannot, you know, the constructor, if we use, like here, if we use field injection, who use field injection today? Why to do that? By the way, I will show you one of the cases which still really can explain why sometimes it should be used, but not in this case. If we inject something where fields, it can be used only after object was created. So we cannot access this field in the constructor phase. Because of that, we have null pointer exception. And actually, it's not a puzzler. The puzzler will happen here. Oh, no, it's several. One. Oh, okay, this one. So now I using constructor injection. Now we have the terminator validator injected here. And let me emphasize where is the potential problem. As you can see, I didn't provided the bin name, not in the component declaration, not in the bin declaration. But it seems like it will be the same because here the method name is AI terminator validator, and here is AI terminator validator, the name of the class. So in case we have several bins with the same name, with the same ID, it's prohibited in Spring. It will fail. It will be bin definition of a read an exception. In case we have, for some reason, different names, maybe we'll have a problem in the injection phase because now we don't understand what bin should be injected because none of them are primary. I can show you it in my project if you want. This one is more complicated. So let's switch to package Puzzler2. Okay. By the way, if you click here, you can see all the bin you scan. Very convenient IntelliJ. I love that stuff. Okay. So we have several implementation of terminator validator. We have a lot of them. And IntelliJ, if you will ask him to navigate to the bins, he can try to guess which bins are. But this one have some conditional on property, and all of them, all of the implementations here have some profile, some really not existing profile. So I have a lot. How can I find which implementation really will create the bins? So in order to save your time, just for this puzzle, I'll tell you. From all the bins, all of them are marked with different conditional properties, and all of these conditions are false, I'm telling you. Okay? So I still will, if you will continue spending your time inside my project in order to see what kind of implementation of AI terminator validated do I have, you will find out these two without conditions. This just component and his scope is prototype. This just is bin scope singleton. And now the question, what will happen? Well, I'll try to inject. Now it will be more serious price, I think, for this one, if somebody will answer. Let's vote. Who think it's A? Who think it's B? Okay. Who think it's C? I love you. Everybody votes for something different. And who think it's D? Nobody for D. I will vote for D. Okay, so the correct answer is B. Can you please tell me your name? Can you please explain why you voted for the correct answer?
Since it's not marked as primary and they both don't have names, so it's going to be confused since they're unique.
Yes, and what is the reason why the name will not be the same? Because in case before the bin injection happens, somebody needs to scan all the configurations and build thing which we'll learn on the next slide, which is called bin definition. Okay, which explains from which class bins should be created, how it should be configured, and so on and so on. And bin definition, the name must be unique. In case it's not unique, it will fail on the same moment and we will not reach the injection phase. So, can you say me what will be the names? No matter, I think you need to reach this price.
I mean, the name would be the AI terminator validator.
For both of them, or it will be different?
It doesn't know which one it is, though. So it won't be the singleton or the prototype, right?
It will be two, and the exception will be exactly like you said, because he will not understand which one to inject. But what will be with the names? So each time when you don't implicitly say what should be the name by providing name at bin, name, or at component, name, it will decapitalize the name of the class. And it seems like it will be exactly like the name of the method, which is convention for giving name of the bin in Java config. In case you declare bin in Java config with a bin and you don't provide the name will be the name of the method. And my name of the method is AI terminator validator. And here I have the same AI terminator validator decapitalized. It seems like it's two same names, but no. In case you have more than one capital letter in the beginning of the name of the class, the mechanism which provide the name provider will say, it's strange class name because it starts with AIT. Maybe it's some abbreviation. Who knows? I will not touch it. I will leave it exactly like it is. So later on, I will show you in debug. So actually, we have two different bins. And that's the reason why it should fail. OK? But now let's launch and test it. Let's see if it will really fail like we're supposed to be, because we already have a price. No, it works. And Skynet initialized with I need your clauses terminator validator. How you explain that? They love this. They love this. This is the best validator for the terminator. I need your clauses. How did it happen? What should we do? Where we have to click in order to understand why the things we know and we explained, and you don't need to give me back the price because I respect your answer, because your answer is correct, but so for some reason we have different answer. What can we do? Let's try to click debug again. By the way, if you think I lied to you, because we do have this class, I need your clauses terminator validator, and I promised you that all these classes, all their conditionals are false. You know, it can be different type of conditions. We have the profiles, and if profile is not active, not only bin will not be created, the bin definition of this bin will not exist. And the same is conditional, if the conditional is false. And how can I know if this property exists and it's having value true? We can go again here. We will change from Java to Spring properties. We will start typing something terminator, and you see we don't have such a property. The only property related to terminator is terminator main mission, and we can see the value, saving and release all hostages, because we commented out our environment for successor, it's not Sarah Connor anymore. But we don't have the property terminator model enabled, so why do we have this bin in the context? And why it wins other bins? Because it's not primary. We don't see any primary declaration here. And if we look for the bins we have here, let's switch for the Java view from debug. You see you can access it from everywhere. You see I have AI terminator validator. I do have such a bin. And if I'll ask if I have Skynet, which finally have the injection, we can see here Skynet definition, and we can see some meta information about the bin definition here, and you can see it depends on, and we see I need your clauses terminator validator with some strange name, and can I go, where should I click? So I have the navigation button, and it takes me to some legacy XML file, and we can see we do have additional declaration. So this bin will be not created, not because it's marked with component, because this component mark comes together with conditional, which is false. It comes from other reason. It comes from reason because we have declaration of this one in XML, and here we have the primary. Because of that, he knows what should be injected. Okay, so again, thank you, debugger. It really helps. Let's switch to the next one. Okay, so if we want to see what kind of information bin definition has, I remember what I did at least 5 years ago, even more. I need to inject the context inside some breakpoint place, And then in debug, I'm taking the context and I'm taking the bin definition from it. Or I should actually inject not the context, but some configurable listable bin factory which contains the registry of all bin definitions, and then I take it from there. Today, I don't need to do that. When I'm standing in any place, I can just evaluate expression if I'm still in debug, and the context already refreshed. This is an important point. And I just can type any bin, and I can see the definition is here. More than that, if I'll go to the code, I even don't need to type something. This is the latest IntelliJ version, and actually it's kind of beta version, but it will be released very soon. So we have here, it's already inside your classes. Just click and just see the bin definition, and you can see the information about how the bin, what is bin definition instruction, how the bin should be cooked, how it should be prepared, what should be injected, what the attributes, if it's primary or not, where it was defined, because we have a lot of different bin definitions. We can, historically it started from the XML, the first bin declared in XML, then we have the component annotation, it's scanned bin definition, annotated bin definition, Java config bin definition, Groovy config bin definition, Kotlin bin definition, and we have programmatically declared bin definitions since Spring 7. I'll show you it a little bit later. So here is our timeline, and now we're in the phase 2. So the first phase is we are building the environment. After we have the environment with all the properties from all the different sources, we building the bin definitions from different sources. Okay, now let's try to use Spring in order to implement some design patterns. Let's try to see if it can help us. What will gonna happen if I'll go to my code and I'll change. Now I don't want to work with only one validator. Maybe I want chain of responsibility. You know, it's very common practice, right? When you have some interface and you have several implementation and all of them should be used in particular order. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so now I'm injecting not one, but I'm injecting the list of different bins. Again, IntelliJ tried to help me, and he says all of them can be injected here, but he cannot know in not in debug time. Only in runtime we will be able to realize what kind of profiles are active and what kind of conditions are active. But IntelliJ tried to help even not in debug mode. So if I'll change it, let me see if you can answer that question. So I have one configuration when I declare the bin, which is list of terminator validators, and I'm building this list by myself. Okay? I can even use new here if I want to create object by myself, or maybe I can inject them somehow or take them from context. And I'm preparing the list and I'm declaring the bin of list of validators. In addition, in the same configuration or in different configuration, but they are active, I have declaration of bin terminator validator for T800, and I have some bin singleton, which AI terminator validator, again declared manually only one. And now I'm trying to inject to my Skynet, and I'm asking you what will be injected to the list. You have 4 answers. Answer number 1. The list which will be injected, it's exactly the list we declared, because this is the only bin we have, which is the list of terminators. We have answer number B, that the list will be a list which will be filled with bins of terminators, but our list will be ignored. We have answer number C, when some smart mechanisms will merge it, will add additional bins which are validators to our bin, which is list of validators. Or maybe some exception will happen. Let's vote for that. Who think exception will happen? And who think number A? Our list. Okay. We have almost the same. Who think it's number B? Nobody vote for B. Yeah, it will be strange, it will be B. And who think it's C? Nobody think it's C. Okay, so I think nobody will receive a prize because it's B. And before version of Spring 3.3, I think, it worked exactly, Pavel, like you thought. Now it's worked differently. In case we have, let's see what will happen. Now I want more of them. Okay, I want all of them, and in a moment I will show you how we can add dynamic bin declarations. So here's my Skynet. We have this one declared in XML. We have, so let's see what will happen. I'm running with debug. Where I'm always trying to find out where else I can use the same debug features. I can use evaluate expression. Familiar with evaluate expression? And here again, you have access to anything, and you can write Skynet. And here we see the definition of the Skynet, and we can see it depends on, and we can see these two. You see, so how Spring actually works. In case you use auto-wired, and you need to inject the single something, it will be injected in case we really have the single. In case we have more than one, we need to use qualifiers, we need to use primary in order to explain which one. But in case we want to build a collection, I don't need to manage it manually. Spring knows to build it for me. So if I love and I do the chain of responsibility design patterns, and I need some collection of objects in one place, I don't need to manually to build some list and think how I'm reaching all this object I need. I can do that, but in this case I will use qualifier in order to explain I need this particular bin I built by myself. But in case I have Spring building me the list, this list will be injected, and not your custom one. Maybe it's strange behavior, but here we experts and we need to know that. Okay, let's continue. So yeah, they are really funny. Regarding the dynamically registered bins, let me show you what kind of information our debug already have. So let me stop it again, and let me show you where is my Skynet config located. Skynet config from Puzzlers 2. So I have import resource for this XML, and this is the reason why this XML was active at all. And now I want to show you some new mechanism which exists in Spring 7, which called bin registrar. How easy today you can write a code, but for a moment, let's think, why do we need such a thing? What can happen for my applications that I will want such a feature from Spring, that I'm not declaring bins with at component or at bin statically. I want some code which will declare them dynamically.
I need either some dynamic config, which I can't define in my constants, or I just want it to have it more readable.
Exactly, exactly. For example, now we, all of us, I think, love building some AI application with local LLMs or something, and we try to improve them, and we need a lot of different advisors. And the order of advisors can be very important, and the amount of advisors and the type of advisors maybe will be different per application or per user. So I thought about some scenario when I have some JSON file which can come from some other system, or I can build in my Bootstrap, and this JSON file contains information about some additional bins which should be in my context. Okay, let me show you. So this JSON files looks like that, you see? It's a list of validators, and it provides the name of the class and the name of the bin, or I can write different logic, and I cannot provide the name of the bin because I can calculate it by myself from the name of the class like they do, and information if it's lazy, if it's scope. For some reason you cannot provide, meanwhile, and ask Jürgen Holler why it's Spring 7 not provided, the information about qualifier. Qualifier still will be taken from the name of from the class. You can use qualifier on the class, but you cannot specify qualifier here. Other information you do, and now I have this terminator validator registrar mechanism, I need to implement only one method register, and I have the registry here and environment. Okay, this is very early phase because we are taking, you remember the timeline. In the moment when we still don't have the beans, we're trying to understand what bean definitions should be, and we can add our own. Okay, so here I'm just reading this JSON file, and I have very simple register bean method, which is easy, can be used from the registry. I have the access to it. And I need to provide the bean name, the name of the class, and the lambda which describes how this bean should be configured. So I can provide the order and the description, and it's lazy or not lazy, if it's prototype, not prototype, primary, not primary. By the way, now we will have two primary beans. It will not affect us because now we put them in the list. But let's see if IntelliJ already knows about the dynamic bean. Opa, what happened? Maybe we don't. Class for name. Class validator not found because I moved it. I moved the validator class and I didn't change the package. That's the reason. I just wanted to hide it from you. Let me find where I put it here. Let's put it back. It should be in this I think, package. My JSON file, remember, it contains an information what the name of the class, one of the information. So the name of the class, I wrote it manually before I moved it to another package. That's why it didn't work. Okay, so now let's see if I can type here something dynamic validator. You see, this bean definition is accessible, and here we can see bean definition declared definition type programmatic. So IntelliJ even can say you how this bean was declared, what is the reason it came. Because of if you'll now pay attention, if you'll change to the name of the XML, it's some not good name. The default of providing the names for the XML beans is the name of the class, something like that. So if I'm not providing, it's implicitly.
Can you navigate to the definition?
That's what I'm trying to do. Let's give some good name, and it will be more simple to us to find it. Okay, so let's say name of this bean will be AAA, no matter, just to find it faster. You see, AAA is here, and bean definition, and we can see definition type is XML, and we can see the information primary is here, so everything is here. IntelliJ supports all type of beans, no matter how you declared it at component and bean, even XML, who remembers, and the most modern one is dynamic declared, still supported. Okay, so he can find it as well. A little bit more about design patterns, couple of minutes. Do you love Switch? Java improved it a lot. I remember how many bugs I had in the past because of somebody forgot the break or something moved, several breaks disappeared, and then client, instead of receiving one mail from my company, receiving a lot of mails. Happy birthday, do you want the new products, and all the campaigns because somebody just removed the break, so all cases for the same client. Now it's much better. We don't have breaks anymore, but do you love it? Do you understand what I'm trying to do? So I have some kind of switch here, really, because of depends of terminator type. I need to do different tasks, and these tasks I should delegate to different objects. But I need to inject all of them here, so I will inject. Do you think it will work? Right? I can instead of using switch, I can use hash map, just a map. If I want to do this, delegate to this object. This delegate to this object. So just you to know. Wired will work not only if you will put it on the collection, on the list, but it will work also if you will put it on the map. But what will be the strings here? It will be the name of the beans, okay? So if you don't want to use name of the beans like something which make sense to your business, you can, in some post-construct method, you can just rearrange your map. Or this is a pattern I invented several years ago. Actually, when Java 8 was released. Since we have default method, I was wondering if we can do something like that. Do you know the design pattern observer or registry? So instead of doing like this, I want vice versa. I want each bean will register itself, not somebody will centralize and will collect all of them. But each bean, when it will be created, maybe he will be created in the middle of application is running. This is another Spring opportunity. You can register singletons on the fly. But I want each time he will be singleton, he will go and register himself to this map. Okay, so if I can do that, what do you think? You see, I have some not implemented name method. Okay, or it can be even enum if you want it more type safe, not the name of the beans, something type safe. And I have method which has default implementation. I just need to inject here my Skynet operation center, which has this map. And I'm calling the register terminator and name and this. So each time the bean implements terminator interface, automatically it has method register myself, which marked with auto-wired in order to have an injection of the central bean when he should register himself. And I put here the post construct to make this method work. So what can go wrong here? Oh, if it will work fine. Who think it's A? Who think it's B? Who think it's C? And D? Okay. Okay, Terminator will say you need to read documentation, guys. Because you cannot use post construct above method which takes in the parameters. This is just, it's even not related to Spring. It's open Jakarta, JavaX. Post construct annotation says you can mark init methods with post construct. We will invoke them. But it should be without any parameters. And actually, we don't need them because auto-wire is enough. And it will work. So my recommendation, if you want to implement some kind of observer design pattern, you can use that. Okay, to wire from the method, Spring sees it like a kind of setter. Spring can do injection to your fields, injection to your constructor, and to your setter methods. But he doesn't look for the set inside the name of the method. He looks for the methods marked with auto-wired. And he doesn't care if it's inside your class or your interface with default method. So you can do that. Okay. Last question, because before the most interesting question. Let's talk about singletons and prototypes. What do you think will happen here? We have two beans. Do you understand this picture? Who is singleton from them? The T1000, right? Because this was the guy, he's the only one. In all the films, there is no such another Terminator. Because of that, he represents a singleton. This one, Schwarzenegger, T800, we have thousands of them. It's prototype. So now the T1000 says something in init method and says something in destroy method. Destroy method should be invoked when you close your context. When the application stops working correctly, it will work. And we have T800 with the same, different logic, but the same concept of post construct and pre-destroy method. So who think all four methods will work if I run my application? Who think B is correct? Only singleton methods will work. Who think pre-destroy will work only for prototype? And who think that D is correct? Pre-destroy will work only for singleton? Yes. It's D. It's D, pre-destroy. So post-construct method will work for any bean because everybody knows when the bean will be created. I mean, Spring knows when the bean will be created, init method should be invoked. But the destroy method, what's the problem with that? why destroy method is not working for prototypes. If I was younger, I maybe thought that this is an explanation. Remember from the movie when he said, I cannot terminate myself, I cannot invoke my own destroy method? But this is not the reason. The real reason that no Spring doesn't save references to your prototype's beans. And when you close your context, Spring doesn't know where your bean is located. Okay, so this is the reason. Okay, so how can we fix it? 5 minutes, okay. So I'm switching to the most interesting puzzle. Just to show you the timeline. So we continue on the timeline. We have environment post-processors, then we have bin registrars. We have some interesting problems. Then we have the factory, which creates the bins, but this is not the end. After that, we have the bin post-processors, the most interesting players who can inject to your bins different stuff, and they have two different methods. One related to the proxy, one related to injection. Okay, so it will look like that. Before init method is invoked, the first method of bin post-processors will be used, and they can configure your bins according to some additional declaration. So let me show you what will happen here. I'll give all prizes I still have to the one who will answer it correctly, and will explain why. Look what do we have here. We have some class terminator token module, which has JavaOne transactional service annotation. Okay, this is custom annotation, and it contains at service and at transactional with some custom configuration. I can show it. I can show you in the code. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so JavaOne. You see, so I have this annotation, JavaOne transactional service, which combines service and transactional, which is required with some timeout. Okay, so the class marked with transactional annotation. The method save marked with additional transactional annotation, which requires new transaction here. And now somebody is calling for save all method, the external one, and the question, how many transactions will be, what will happen. So if you understand how many transactions will be, you will understand what will be the correct answer. Think about that I have some problem data inside my records I'm going to save. One record is incorrect. He will cause the exception. What will happen then? All valid records will be saved. Nothing will be saved. Up to the first problem records will be saved. Or all answers are incorrect. Who think it's A? It will still save all valid records like it should be. Okay, who think it's nothing will be saved? Okay, and this is the correct answer. Can you explain why?
Because will be saved only transaction successful.
I'll give you the prize, but this is a wrong explanation.
So, requires new won't work because we are not inside. We will not create a proxy.
We create the proxy, but we call.
We call the proxy only one time.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't
Two prizes.
I don't understand the answer. Why nothing will be saved?
Let me show you how we can understand it via debug. So this is the proxy object. How do we have the magic of transactions inside our code? Somebody calls from external, somebody calls the method. For example, he thinks he calls the repository method, but he calls the proxy method. Then the proxy method, which is stupid, invoke for his invocation handler. Invocation handler can open the transaction, and then because he receiving the name of the original method and the arguments, he can call the original method and then close the transaction. But in case method A call method B directly, it doesn't go through the proxy. Okay, guys, it's -1 minute. Okay, you have even minus signs. Thank you.